I remember the first day on the field, my dad handed me a list of small business owners and a script and said, start calling. I picked the phone, hey, this is Jordan from Click. And I turned around and I said, this is how you're driving Ferraris, doing this? I don't believe it. Do it again. Hey, this Click. I said, Dad, I don't get it. He said, this is a law of large numbers business. Keep doing this and eventually you'll get it.
Yeah. What is up? Welcome back to the CA Power Player Podcast. I'm your host, Cody Askins, and today we have a couple special guests in the office, man, all the way from Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Here's what I got to say. They are helping young hustlers make their first six figures as a life insurance agent. They have a ton of experience and have helped a ton of agents around the country. They actually have like thousands of agents a month like reaching out to work with them, but they're very exclusive, selective, and they don't work with everyone, which is amazing. And so I'm excited for this topic because they're literally in our studio. These gentlemen are Dustin Bezalel and Jordan Cohen with Creative Financial Network.
Yes, sir.
What is up, gents?
What's going on?
What's up, Cody?
Appreciate you being here, man. Welcome
Appreciate
to the
you
podcast.
having us.
Happy to be here.
Absolutely. It's been fun. You guys got here late last night.
Yep.
Spend some time in the studio, shooting some content, doing some fun stuff.
Awesome team you have.
Thanks, man. Appreciate that. Well, you guys too, you know, I mean, I think one of the things I want to kick this off with and like start out is why, Creative Financial Network, I guess, you know, I'll throw it to you first, Dustin.
So, I mean, I think that people are important, right? And the only reason I've had success personally in this business is because I plugged into having the right people around me. That I wouldn't be in this business if they weren't pulling my head out of where when things got tough. So why us is because us, right? The leadership, the management team, staff that we have in place, and furthermore the actual model. It's basically each person that's working within the CFN organization. First and foremost, they own their own clientele. They own the renewal. We have open architecture, and then we're plugging in and giving them coaching, mentorship, guidance to succeed in this business.
Yeah, I think it's fair to say that more agents don't own all their own stuff than do in our industry, which is wild. How did you? Also, actually, I'll go to Jordan and then I'll jump back to you a second. Why CFN for you, man? Like, why do you love this place?
So at first it was basically just the lifestyle I saw it gave my family. Whatever this business was, whatever it had in store, I was in for.
Yeah.
As I got older and truly understood what we have to offer from an advisor perspective, where you actually own your book, and just that alone, how important that is to own your book of business, got me fired up. And I don't think I could ever go anywhere else. I mean, I don't think there's anywhere else to go.
I love that, man. That's awesome.
And the real reason is his dad is my partner.
Yeah, there you go.
That was the first reason.
Which is also true. Yeah. Well, we got a lot in common then. Both second generation insurance. Family insurance before you or no?
No, I actually, what's funny is my mom was in high-end jewelry sales. Wow. When I got into the industry in 2005, she saw the success that I was having. She was in retail. And in 2008, she actually got into the business as an advisor and last year officially retired. So it's the opposite.
She kills it too.
Yeah.
Dude, that's amazing. That is so cool. I love that. And what was your first, Dustin, if you look back on when you first started, because we're going to have a bunch of agents that are going to watch this, they're going to be like, I want to make my first six figures.
Yep.
A lot struggle. They don't get help. That's why you'll have so many agents, advisors reaching out to y'all, because they're just like a number, you know. You got to hit a recruiting goal, and then the company does, and they don't help anybody.
Right.
What was different about the way you started, and where did you struggle? What went well? What did that look like those first few months, few years?
Yeah. So I got the license coming out of the restaurant business. That's always what I wanted to do as a kid was own my own catering business and high-end restaurant. And that didn't give me the life that I wanted to lead. And I started, exploring industry that would give me freedom with my time, freedom with my money. And real estate looked at, mortgage business looked at, and then went in for, an interview with two different places. And I thought, Cody, when I started, I was 19. I thought clients or prospective clients we're going to be like lined up at the doorstep, which isn't the case.
No.
So having to really create something from nothing was a challenge, but it really wasn't as much of a challenge for me because I plugged in with somebody that was seasoned. So he was an experienced advisor. I always say what I ended up doing was fish for clients for the first year. I literally had my lines in the water, fishing for clients, and my business partner would then fillet and fry the fish. Until I became good at filleting and frying the fish, I just fished. So it took my learning curve from here to here and allowed me to just focus on revenue producing activities, PT paid time versus NPT non-paid time. Yep. And having that mentor that he was married, had kids, wife didn't work outside of the house for money. He had to earn a certain money, a lifestyle, right?
Yes.
And either I rose up to the occasion and delivered to the level that he did, or I was not going to work with him and be a partner. So I think having that person that I'm able to plug in with, or I was able to plug in, that failure isn't an option, was either succeed or go find something else to do.
Yeah. And when you talk about fishing for clients, like is that part of y'all's model still, where it's like you're fishing for clients and then we're helping you close the business?
Yeah. So when a new agent advisor works with CFN, right? First and foremost, we want them to have the right core human values. It's people are important. We want them to be coachable. We want them to be willing. They don't have to know products. They don't have to know solutions. Actually, we prefer that they don't. But they have to just be good human beings and want the world for themselves and their families. And then we're going to give them the guidance as far as what they need to do. And we will provide them leads to call. We're going to give them what to say to those people. And they can also, build relationships and clientele the traditional way. But having a lead system that there's 4, call it verticals that they can plug into, whether it be business owners, professionals, public employees, or job changers, free of charge is a big thing.
Yeah. That makes sense. Was that how you started, Jordan? Is like, dude, I was fishing. I was finding people.
For sure.
And then was it Dustin or who was helping, like, and what were they doing to like make sure you were up to speed?
In the beginning, we really had maybe 2 people. I mean, I remember the first day on the field, my dad handed me a list of small business owners and a script and said, start calling. I picked the phone, hey, this is Jordan from Click. And I turned around and I said, this is how you're driving Ferraris, doing this? I don't believe it. Do it again. Hey, this Click. I said, Dad, I don't get it. He said, this is a law of large numbers business. Keep doing this and eventually you'll get it.
Yeah.
And I mean, I remember at one point, you and I would drive to Hialeah to shake someone's hand.
Yeah, I mean, before COVID, it was all face-to-face, belly-to-belly, client meetings just in the local area. And obviously, COVID, I think everybody would agree, sprung this industry forward probably 10, 15 years, literally overnight, which is really cool. We're much more efficient with our time, much more effective. If there's somebody that isn't interested, we just boom, hit end Zoom and move on with our day.
Yes.
We're out there. We're teaching people how to fish for clients, teaching them how to fillet fish, teaching them how to fry the fish, to a point where if they want to have their own fishing store, or not fishing store, but fish market or markets, they can within our system. So it's pretty cool.
It is really cool. Yeah. And when you think about when each of you made your first 6 figures doing this, what advice would you give to help someone else do exactly that? We'll start with Jordan and then we'll jump to Dustin.
To have your why grounded. A very strong why, because at some point you realize $100,000 is not all that much.
Yeah.
And I hate to say it like that, but it is what it is.
It's true. Yeah, it sounds like it. And then you hit your first and you're like,
after taxes and after.
Where did it go?
So
Yeah.
Why do you do what you do? Because there's got to be a stronger reason than just the 100,000, right?
Yep.
So that would be my overarching theme: is have a very strong why.
Yeah.
And that number is irrelevant.
Yeah, I always say too that, to your point, I'm curious your guys' thoughts. I always say that if the goal is strictly income related, once you hit it, you'll slow down.
Right.
100%.
Yeah. What's your thoughts on that? And I would love the answer to that question too.
What was the question again?
first advice for hitting your for when you made your first six figures, like what advice you would give around that?
So I think, having your why is certainly important. I mean, I start every day. I have a list of what I'm thankful for, what I want to achieve in my life. That's awesome. I giving a 10 every day? I'm not allowed to give ones personally, professionally, or for myself. And am I expecting and demanding people to deliver a 10 as well? So having the why for me, one is to give my wife and kids in my life, we don't see financial stress and struggle. Number two is being a role model to my children, what to do versus what not to do, right? Awesome. So, and then also I love having the ability to plug into new young guys coming into this business, show them the ropes and seeing that, the success that they have. But when you hit that monetary goal, it's like cool, and it was cool to hit it. My first year I did 96.5, second year was 188,500, third year was 265. But I remember my first year coming from the restaurant business, the executive chef in the country club that I worked for made 90 G's. And I'm like, I'm 19, 20, and I out-earned this guy that's working, 70, 80 hours a week, smelling like God only knows what when he leaves the restaurant.
Yeah.
And it was a really cool feeling. Really cool feeling.
Yeah, when you mentioned that, I was thinking about this too, because when I was 20, had my first six figures, I think by the time I was done, I was 20. Yeah. By the time I was hit it, I was 21. But yeah, my first 8 months, 117K. And it wasn't, I didn't even have as good of a system as y'all have. Like, it was cold calling, cold door knocking, and I was selling like burial insurance.
Right.
Let's be honest. Like, it wasn't sexy. It wasn't fun. However, dude, you know what I mean? I grinded away, but when you mentioned like out earning, certain people, like I was literally out earning all of my professors.
Right.
And possibly, it was a small Bible college, maybe the president of the college.
Wow.
At 20, 21 years old, while I'm in school playing basketball. And it's like, that's what this industry can provide.
I played basketball too.
Did you really?
No, I'm too short for that.
Maybe you could hop, man.
No.
I don't know. He's like AI out there.
What made you special in your first year?
Ooh, good question. You know what? I figured out the math of like, okay, if I will sit down and run 10 really good appointments,
right,
I will win. And I wasn't great. You know what I mean? Like, the one thing I was good, naturally better at than others that I've seen is I was pretty decent at building rapport. Like, I was sitting with seniors, and by the end, they're like wanting to adopt me as their grandkid.
Yep.
Yeah. I was good at that, but that taught me though. It's like, dude, do you like, you're talking about, fishing. You're talking about, literally getting to know someone, teeing them up, and having an experienced senior advisor come in and help. You don't need to know product,
right,
and underwriting, and all the pending, and all the stuff, and paramedics.
You need to know people.
You need to know people, 100%, which is why that's literally came out of your mouth probably 4 or 5 times. Think about it. It's like, that is the most important part.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah. Good question, by the way. That's cool.
Am I allowed to ask
from now
questions?
on, you're in charge in the podcast. No, you can, please. I think it's cool, because also most people never do that. But I wish they would do it more, because it's like, dude, it just stirs conversation. It's cool. You guys about to have your own podcast.
We did a call, like a phoning session. So in our West Palm office, every Wednesday I'm up there. We do junior meetings in the morning, 9 to 10:30. We do team leads from 10:30 to 12. And I'll end a lot of the junior sessions with a live outbound cold call dial session to, let's say, a business owner or to whomever. And we've got like 25 guys just around the room listening. I'm the one that will do it. And I haven't really done that in a long time, but I engaged in the conversation with the person. One guy gave us an appointment. One guy said, call me back in February. I wanna learn about long-term care. And he's like, you sound cool, you sound genuine. And it wasn't about the product or the product knowledge. It was just how it was, the conversation was going. Yeah.
It's about you.
Yeah.
And about them.
So true.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. And he's still got it, doesn't he? He's like, I don't do that as much anymore, but guarantee you he's still. And when you got
I wanted to call with your team.
Let's make it happen. You know what's cool is, dude, when you get a room full of people like that, Dude, the energy and the buzz.
Yeah, they were
excitement.
they're fired up afterwards. It's really
So
cool.
awesome.
Yeah, it's cool to see.
And it's like they can say the exact same words,
Right.
the exact same way.
Yep.
That's what's so special about this business is like, it
Yeah.
doesn't have to be complicated, you know? When did you realize that, Jordan? Like, okay, nobody's like better than me. They're just maybe either outworking me or they just have more experience.
When I got back from the military,
What part of the military?
I was in the Israeli military. I volunteered and I served in the special forces of the Israeli military. I was a sharpshooter in the IDF.
Wow.
Had a lot of time to think. A lot of time to think about why I wasn't having success my first 2 years. And it was because I wasn't coachable. That's what it comes down
Yeah.
to. This guy's one of the best coaches I know. And
That's awesome.
why we're sitting here is because a lot of the stuff that was on your early YouTube was very in line with what he teaches. So I'm like, all right, so it can't be them, right?
Yeah.
It's me.
Oh, it's definitely us. No, I'm just kidding.
It's me. And I subscribed to it when I got back is the answer.
But one of the things that he had a challenge with, which is not unique to him, is I think the young, call it college grad or somebody out of high school, you know, they're I call it chasing shiny objects, right? So they're flipping watches or doing
It's a Florida thing, Cody.
E-com or crypto or eBay or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And it's like a get rich quick. How do I get rich quick?
Yes.
And I don't preach what I don't personally practice myself in all aspects of my life. I'm just not that way. And one of the things that he had an issue with was chasing shiny objects.
Yeah.
And so one of the things that I train on, and I don't know if it's training, but it's a
Mental.
fundamental and foundational element of, I just think in life, is get really successful at one thing first
Yes.
before you implement, thing number two. And so when he came back, it was zoned in, focus on that one thing, juiced up, just, making it happen versus I'm doing this, watch and whatever those other things that you said. And I think a lot of people, not only him, a lot of people, I don't want to say suffer from that, but suffer from that.
They do. I mean, I was literally talking on our Ultimate Agent Academy. We've got about 300 agents that join an academy every month to get coached by me every Monday. And I was talking, literally this Monday's call was all about a lack of focus and distractions.
Right.
And far too many young people do have the shiny object syndrome, or they think they want to succeed in 1,400 different ways. And it's like,
Right.
dude, I literally sat with 10 people, sold them life insurance.
Yep.
Like, it's simple, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
To your point, it's good. How did it feel to hear that you were chasing shiny object syndrome, and how did you respond? Did your ego get in the way?
Yeah,
Did
my
you
ego
kind of
got in
push
the
back?
way,
Like, I
for
can't believe
sure.
this freaking
I
jerk. What is he
was-
talking about?
For sure. I was the worst.
Really?
I'll be the first to admit it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Most people also wouldn't admit it either. So that's
I'll
cool.
admit it. I was the worst. My ego got in the way. I didn't want to hear it. I knew that I was wrong. I don't know how to explain it.
Yeah.
But I almost wasn't willing to simplify it like you just did. Right? It's as simple as it is. It's the numbers.
Yeah.
And I wanted the sexy part of this business and the shiny part of this business.
Yep.
And that comes after the numbers.
You're like,
right?
where's the Ferrari? I've been doing this. This is my
Yeah.
third day. There's not a Ferrari in my driveway
Right.
yet. What the freak's going on
He's got
here?
the wind up one.
Right. So I tried to work at Ferrari. So
That was one of the shiny objects.
It
though.
was.
Did you try to work at
Yeah,
Ferrari?
Part time.
If I can't get one, I'll work there.
no, for real.
I got to go back to something else really quick, though, because ever since you said it, it's in the back of my brain. I can't forget it. Israeli military.
Yep.
How did you end up in the Israeli military? Help me out.
My dad's born in Israel.
Okay.
I'm Jewish. I was at Temple, and there was a guy next to me that said, "Oh, my son's in the military overseas, and this, that, and the third, in Israel." And I said, "But you're American. How is he in the Israeli military?" And he told me you could volunteer. Within, I would say, a month, I was in Israel in the Israeli military. I got it in my head. You know that. It was like this.
Yeah.
Once it was in my
How
head,
wild is that, by the
I
way?
figured out. I
Like,
didn't know a
that's
word
crazy.
of Hebrew. Not a single word. I had to learn fluent Hebrew in 6 months or they kick you out.
So why did you want to join the Israeli military versus, like, let's just say, like, the Marines or Navy or
First of all, I was in
Army?
a rush to get back to business. And second of all, probably should have been first of all, is that's my heritage. You know, I'm American first. I'm a diehard American.
Sure.
But that's my heritage, you know.
Yep.
I'm fighting for, not to get political here, but something that means a lot to me.
Yep.
And as I gotten older, that's really like settled in a lot. But that's why I chose the IDF. And my grandparents lived there. My family lives there. Like I'm fighting for my family. And it was a really cool experience. Learned another language and saw combat, which was good, bad, and ugly. But it really helped me grow up a lot. And it's a cool experience. My little brother did it as well, and my dad and my grandfather. So.
Wow. I didn't even know you could do that. Like I didn't know that.
Neither
was a
did
thing.
I. Neither did I.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's cool.
Wow. Okay, so but one thing I want to jump back to too is Dustin, you mentioned like 96K your first year.
Yeah.
180 something your second. 188 I think. And then 265, something like that. You had about a 90K jump each year, which is cool. And you jumped to literally almost 100 your very first year.
Right.
If someone's out there listening and they're like, okay, this is day one for me in insurance. I just passed my test and I'm like watching this video and I'm like, oh, I like this Jordan guy and this Dustin guy. Like they seem cool.
Yep.
They're from Florida.
Don't hold that against us. Yeah, don't hold that against us.
I think that's great, by the way. I'm in Missouri. I think Florida's cooler, just for the record. Better tan, warmer. You know, you guys get the deal. If they're like, I want to literally first year 98, second year 180, third year 265. Walk us through like the business plan or the idea of how to accomplish that.
So one is and this is just because this is how I had success, was find a mentor, find somebody that I said earlier knows how to fillet the fish and knows how to fry the fish, and just every single day go fishing like a mad person.
Yeah.
Don't worry about the minutia. So I think that early on, especially, you know, people new to this business, they're so worried about, I don't know the products, the solutions. Forget it. Just be good at, like you said earlier, having conversation, just be personal, have conversations with people. So plugging in, having a mentor, having a business partner, having a recipe of success. So the recipe of success was, I was dialing for dollars to business owners. So it was small business owners, 1 to 10 employees, engaging in a conversation with the owner, him or herself, for things like life insurance, disability, long-term care. Number 2 was professionals. I targeted heavily attorneys and CPAs, not for center of influence relationships, but actually comparing the benefits that they have through their associations compared to what they can have on the outside. And then Cody, I would buy leads the same way that you guys as a company, you know, sell leads to agents. I would buy leads. Now I would buy not the real-time leads because I didn't have the financial wherewithal to spend it, but I would buy age qualified leads. And then just beat up the phone and I was relentless in it. And that was called, I would say, year 1. And then
Dustin, can I ask about year 1? How did you find, and I know Andrew is the mentor, did someone pair you up with him?
No.
Or did you find him on the beach?
That was literally just, you know, I went to lunch at the cafe in the building that we were in.
That cafe.
And you know, guy was dressed to the nines. We just started BSing, and
that's the hardest part.
That's how you joined.
No, that was after I was licensed. I met him and we just
clicked.
We just
got it.
Clicked. And
was he with CFN?
No, he was with MetLife. That was when I was at MetLife.
Got it. Understood.
For newer agents, it's easy to say find a mentor.
Right. Yeah.
But how do you do that?
And then in our world, we're big into pairing new advisors or agents with a mentor, and we do it based on their personality. So, you know, if I can sit down with this person and have a beverage of choice and just BS about, you know, God only knows what, that's usually how we pair them up. And it's a big part of what we do. And we've seen a lot of people that on paper shouldn't have success, but do because of that. So where I got into it, it wasn't done. It wasn't forced. In our world, we do that typically with a younger crew.
Phenomenal. How many new agents you think get in that don't get paired with a mentor?
In general, or
in general, like percentage wise, if say there's
in our world,
no,
in our world. In just in the
general,
70%.
I don't know the percentage. I would imagine most don't. I would actually think the percentage
80?
is higher.
I think so too.
That I would
90.
You know, I would maybe even more than that. I would just think that it's just get licensed and then go figure it the hell out. That's
crazy.
that's what I would think.
What
but
do you guys think? Let me know in comments below. I guarantee you what Dustin just shared is very accurate. I would say like 95%. And also too, when you jump in comments, put like, no, I don't have a mentor, you know? And then Jordan will respond to you.
Yes, sir, I will.
I love that. Find a mentor. You're dialing business, working small business professionals and buying leads.
Yep.
Did you have a
phenomenal.
mentor, Cody?
Yeah, I had my dad and I had a sales manager. Yeah, both that like I could literally go to. And yeah, I took one of them on my first appointments for, first couple months, you know.
Yeah.
And a lot of agents may need it for longer, but life insurance is also like not in most cases. Now in y'all's world,
Right.
I was doing it such a simple way, but I was also averaging like $300 or $400. I was averaging like $300 a sell, probably $300 or $400 a sell. Like I had to sell a lot, you know. I mean, I would bet y'all's average case size is.
it's much higher than that, just because the markets that we're targeting.
What would you say it is on average, just overall? Like I know you can't maybe pick an 4,000.
Yeah.
Yeah, a year.
Yeah.
That's great. So it's like okay, then you need. You know what's cool about that is $100,000 in premium.
Right.
Dude, you need 25 cases.
Yeah, that's right.
A case every other week. Now, I'm not saying be lazy, but like that's a great setup, man. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, would you rather $400 and you got to sell 250, or would you rather 4,000? You could sell 25. It's like, I mean, the math makes sense to me.
Yeah, and I mean, one of the things that we then got really good at was, you know, I always say if I own a Starbucks, which would be pretty cool, but
That would
I
be
don't,
awesome.
right?
Let's do that.
So if you own a Starbucks, and let's say there's 1,000 people coming to the Starbucks every day, if you want to increase sales, have 1,200 come in, right? So it's bring more bodies in. If Starbucks wants to also make money, it's instead of charging $9.95 per Frappuccino, charge $13.95.
Yeah.
Right. So in our world, it's sell bigger cases. There's certain systems that we implement to sell bigger. Yeah. And then also at Starbucks, you know, you can, instead of just buying coffee, I'm buying a pop lollipop thing, cake pop, whatever you call it, or a breakfast or a lunch item. And in our world, it's cross sell. It's going back to those same clients and cross-sell different products and solutions, which I could tell you in our firm, the average would be 3 products per household is what I would say.
Wow. That's great too, actually. That's really good. And that speeds it up too, you know, like that starts to stack a little bit. You made me think about something when you shared that too. Like there's this stat, you guys have probably seen it out there, or like a graphic. It's like, how do you make $1 million? It's like, okay, you sell 10 people $100,000, you sell 1 million people for $1, you know what I mean? You get the idea, right?
Yep.
Sell 1,000 at 1,000 or 100 at 10,000, whatever
it is. I've seen it.
I think that's it, but yeah.
It makes it seem way easier.
Yeah, it does. But you know, breaking anything down, it's like, okay, even the 100K thing we're talking about right now.
Inspect what you expect, right?
Yeah, it's $2,000 a week. Take 2 weeks off, right? $2,000 a week. You know, it's $400 a day. Like I had a mentor. I was like, dude, I'm going to make 6 figures. Right. Speaking of this topic today, which has been such a good podcast, by the way. You guys are awesome. He's like, dude, it's like $300 a day.
Right.
He's like every day. He's like, you choose if you don't work Sundays or not. But like, he's like, dude, you make $300 today, tomorrow, and the next day, you'll make 6 figures. I'm like, initially, I'm like, $100,000, $300. Oh, okay, all right, I can do that. You know.
Were you an activity tracking type of guy?
Yes.
You tracked everything?
I had a whiteboard where I would have the whole calendar for the month up on the board. Yeah. And then I would track my activity and results each day.
Yeah. I still do that today.
Yes, me too. I mean, you see it. We see it with my sales team in the back, all over the place.
Yeah, no, it's awesome.
Dude, it works.
From day one, you had the mindset of tracking the activity over the money? That's
once I started listening, I was very quickly, because I started listening to Brian Tracy, and he talks a lot about that stuff, you know. And then I actually convinced. I've never told this story. You need your own podcast. I'm literally starting to track my numbers, and I'm like, dude, this is working for me. Like, it's holding me accountable on a week-to-week basis, which is what that's the point. So then I've told the manager, I'm like, dude, you need to get a huge 4x6 whiteboard for $100, $150 down at Staples. You need to do this for the whole team.
You guys are doing that now.
Correct.
We love that.
The only reason we do it now is because I did it in a small way, convinced my sales manager to do it for the entire office of agents and advisors. And then and then I had to be at the top of the freaking board. Right. Like, I guarantee you're competitive, like super freaking competitive. And I had to be on the top of the board every single week. The only thing that was annoying was like, how'd you get that deal? How'd you get that sale? Where'd that come from?
Right.
You know, whatever. Did your daddy give you that? You know,
Right.
Yeah.
I know about
you
that.
know the deal.
Yeah.
You definitely do.
Yeah.
And so but dude, I was literally trying to be at the top of the board. People were,
Right.
and you know what? It sucks. Like in our office, if you don't do anything, you have to go put a 0.
Right.
Dude, nobody wants
No
to
one's
go
put a 0.
Yeah. So it's like, it's gamifying a little bit, you know, it's cool.
Yeah.
When did you start doing that?
Literally day one. We had basically a live board for 52 weeks in the year.
Mm-hmm.
What did we, what was the actual numbers versus what the goal was?
You and Andrew?
Still, yeah, and then still till this day, I track I have a daily tracker.
He
track
does.
everything. Workouts, what books I read, what food did I eat?
Dude, I think we're like the same human. I use this app called Strides to literally track. I don't know if you can actually like
That's cool.
see it or
I
not.
think
but
that's the biggest thing that drew
push-ups,
me
goals,
into,
workout,
Right.
cold
Yeah.
shower, read.
Yep.
Yeah.
to you was just how similar you both are in tracking everything.
Yeah.
Well, that's the only way you know whether you won or lost.
1,000%.
Otherwise, you don't know.
And dude, guess what? Not everyone's a winner.
Right.
And I want to win. And you know what? If I don't track it, I ain't going to do it.
Right.
You know, like I'm just
So
not.
true.
I'm just not. And guess what? The fastest way for me to forget to do something is to stop tracking it.
Right.
Because as soon as I stop tracking it, it doesn't exist anymore.
Right.
Like I tell my wife this is a little extreme, and I'm having like some new thoughts come to my brain today, which is cool, dude. In our pantry, we have shelves, we have 3 shelves,
Right.
on each side, all the way around. If she puts something, if we go buy a new snack,
Right.
we bought some like popcorn, some supposed healthy popcorn, whatever. We put it on the bottom.
Skinny pop.
Yeah, she puts it on the ground, underneath all the shelves, and I'm like, I ain't ate this for weeks. She's like, why not? I said, because I don't see it.
Right.
It's on the ground. I'm like, if it was on the shelf,
Yeah,
I would eat it.
Right.
But it's on the ground. She's like, dude, you are weird. I'm like, if I don't see it, it doesn't exist.
100%.
That's probably why old supermarkets put those candy, sugar,
Right at
whatever.
eye level.
Yeah, eye level to the kids. Same thing. So
Totally.
you're her kid.
I am, man, for real. She would say that too, for real. She says it to the team. She's like, okay, I've got 30 kids at the office, and I've got 3 at
Yeah.
home, 2 dogs and Cody.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's cool, man. This has been fun, man. Like
Yep.
I am absolutely loving this, and it's a chance for me to like reminisce. Like I relate to what y'all are doing. There's people I interview that I don't always relate
Right.
to what they do or them specifically. Dude, we align really well.
No, it's
like,
cool.
100%.
I would crush it in y'all's operation. Like
No,
for
you would,
sure.
man, for real.
You know what I mean?
100%.
And guess what? The truth is, if
You would
Jordan
crush it in
can,
anything, though, with that.
well, with that attitude, 100%.
Right.
Eventually, dude, if you want to win bad enough,
Yeah.
like that's what's cool about Elon, dude. He's like, dude, I want a city on Mars.
Yep.
Dude, if you say it enough and you believe it enough,
Yeah, it's gonna happen.
it's gonna happen.
Yep.
You know, which is cool about this industry is like, dude, if Jordan can do it, if Dustin can do it, and if Cody can do it, then whoever's freaking sitting home, wherever you're at, you can do it too. I promise you.
Absolutely.
You know, but you need a mentor. You need some
big
help.
time.
Which I think is where these guys come in. So if they want to learn more about CFN, Creative Financial Network, and what you are doing, and
Yep.
dude, they just need some help. What should they do? Where should they go? What action should they take?
Yeah, so they can click the link below.
Yep.
www.cfnbroker.com.
Perfect.
Plug in. You can schedule an appointment directly with Jordan and myself.
Cool.
And then we'll show you the model.
Let's go, man. I love it. Jordan, any final thoughts? Do you need your own podcast? I don't know. Like,
We have one. We just started one.
let's go.
You're going to be on it soon.
Okay, good. I love that.
No, I mean, really, the other thing they could do is watch some of your older videos, because it's spot on with what we preach and what we teach, which is, inspect what you expect, track the activity, and
Yeah.
it's a law of large numbers in this business.
It is.
But final thoughts? No, not other
Cool.
than that.
Good.
DB, any thoughts?
No, all set, man.
Cool, man. Appreciate you guys
Appreciate
being
you
on the
having us
podcast.
on.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Awesome.
Thank you guys for hanging out and listening, man. Again, Dustin and Jordan's Creative Financial Network, freaking phenomenal dudes, man. What an amazing podcast of information. They literally broke down exactly the steps for you to go make your first 6 figures as a new life insurance agent, man. I hope you enjoyed it. Let us know below if you enjoyed it. Also, share this thing out with somebody. There are people in your life that need to hear this. And guess what? You can determine if they hear it or not. Either way, we love you. We appreciate you. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you on the next episode. Adios. Hey, if you enjoyed this, I got another one you're going to love. It's right there. Click on it. See you in there. I'm so excited for today's CA Power Player podcast. I'm your host, Cody Askins. We got a special guest. He is back on the channel talking about how to sell life insurance from home. Here's what I love about this person. Okay, I'm telling you, this will be one of the best.